Hello, everyone. I just pulled in my driveway. I finished filming a clip that you guys will see tomorrow of Five Guys. And that's all I'm going to say. But it was something I've never had. It's not even on the menu, and it was delicious. That will be up tomorrow morning. I thought I'd take the time and do a channel update because I haven't really done one. I know I've tried to put some together a few months ago when I first started, but then I've since taken them down because I wasn't really happy with them. Um, and the things I want to cover off today is number one, a thank you to everybody that watches my videos. And I like to shout out to three viewers in particular that pretty much comment on every video I put up. And I want you to know that I really appreciate it. And that's William K. Shank, T-Bird, and Leisure with a bunch of numbers after it. So thank you. I really appreciate, and I'd encourage anybody to comment. I respond to all comments. I really appreciate the comments. And I wanted to shout out to those three because consistently they do comment on all. I know there's other people that comment, but um, those three comment on pretty much every day I put out a video. Within an hour or two, I've got a comment from them on it. I want you to know that I really appreciate it. I want to cover a little bit about who I am. Why am I doing YouTube? So what was my background prior to YouTube, and why am I doing YouTube? And what's next for the channel? So let's start off with the thank you, as I just said, to those three. But I want to thank anybody that watches my videos. If, regardless of whether you comment or not, I want you to know that I really appreciate it. It shows that the work that I am doing in creating the content, it's appreciated by somebody. So I really do appreciate everyone that views my videos, whether I get 1,000 views or whether I get 20 views. I really appreciate it. Who I am. So I retired with a little bit of help in 2021. So we had just gone through a pandemic. I will say that I'm not going to say the name of the company that I work for, but I work for a Fortune 500 company that's based in the United States. It is a global leader in the service that it provides around the world. It is the largest. And the position that I left was a vice president of small business of a particular facet of the organization. And I had teams in Canada as well as two other countries. And I'm proud to say that I have a proven track record where I worked that consistently, no matter which team I led, that happened to be the last team that I left, I always delivered double-digit growth or productivity, and I delivered in double-digit improvement on customer satisfaction scores. We used NPS, Net Promoter Score, and I'm proud that in my year that I left, we had the highest non-legacy team. Legacy would be a product that clients have used for years and years, and of course they're happy with that, so they're going to score higher. But I delivered scores that were in the Amazon levels. When I say my teams have, because it is a team effort. So when you see me commenting, and I've actually, the last couple of videos I've done, I've edited out because I can tend to be a little bit picky. I just come from an organization where I've worked in customer service for close to 30 years at this organization, and I'm very picky about it. So, but I can see that can be annoying for people. So I'm going to try to tone that down, and I already have. I know my KFC one that I uploaded today, I actually cut some chunks out of that because there was a little bit of a service problem in it. But again, I'm being a little bit too picky sometimes, and I can see how that can be annoying. So you won't see that from me. But in addition, in the year that I retired, we delivered the second highest revenue that my teams have ever delivered. And it was in a year that was wrought with the pandemic. So I had no plans on retiring. I was going to be with the company until I was 65, and by then my home would be paid off. And I had no plans on taking my pension early. But when you get a new boss that's only been there or only been my boss for a few months, and every 2 weeks they're saying, "Hey, have you thought about early retirement?" Every 2 weeks, repeatedly, you can see the writings on the wall, and you have to leave. So I took an early pension. I retired. I have enough money that I don't need to work. It just means that some of the things that I enjoy doing, like going to Florida uh, twice a year, every year. I am an American citizen as well as a Canadian citizen, so I always spend a lot of time in the United States. So that I'm not able to do as frequently as I could before. Um, but it is what it is. Hey, I thought it would be good if I lasted till I was 55 because I was a change uh, motivator. And a lot of companies and a lot of people in companies are resistant to change. So I thought it was only a matter of time that I would start getting a tap on the shoulder and saying, "Hey, we don't need you anymore, and your kind isn't appreciated here anymore." And I can tell you that when I did leave, I went into a depression. I actually drank heavily for 2 years. I thought, well, I'm retired. Well, I wouldn't call it a depression. I just said, well, I'm not working. It's like a permanent vacation, right? So I started drinking. I was going up to the point where I was 40 ounces a week is what I was drinking. And then in July of this year, July 27th was the day I had my last drink. And I have no desire to ever touch another drop of alcohol again. But what I decided to do was I needed to make some life changes. And I can't just sit around and do nothing. I've had a job from the time I was 13 years old and delivered papers. I've never not had a job. And I didn't want to go back in and start at another job in my area of expertise and get to know I wouldn't be as effective as I was before because I knew this organization. I was with them for so long. I knew where the bumps were on the road. I knew how to go around those, and I knew how to fix them. Um, but to start all over at a new organization at my age, it wouldn't be fair to the company that I would go to work for. So what I thought I would do, and this is where we get into why YouTube, for me, I just needed something to do. I knew, and I had no expectations that I would ever get monetized. I thought, maybe in a couple of years it might grow. But I just needed something to do. I've never done any video editing before. I've taken home movies, and I love doing it. I've done it. My mother used to do it. It started out when I was a young child growing up. My mother always had a video camera, and back then it was 8 millimeter. Then when VHSs came out, I always had one. I filmed my children from the time they were born, every Christmas and so on, birthdays, always had a camera in my hand. And I love hamming it up for the camera for the home movies. So I thought, and I like to teach. So that's why I thought and I love cooking. So I would film things that I love doing. So whether it's cooking, whether it's doing a review of food that's good, or whether it's traveling. So right now I can't travel as often as I used to, but I still will do the odd trip. So, and I'd like to take my viewers along with me and document that. So I started YouTube the day that I quit drinking. 2 days later, I went in and I created a YouTube channel. I had no idea how to do video editing. Never used any of the software before. I usually just did film clips and would watch them. But putting a video together, I would tell you when I first started, it took me 8 hours just to do one 12 or 15-minute clip video that I would upload. And that was good for me because it was work. I was doing something and I was learning something new. And now it's gotten to the point where I've been doing it for a while and I've got some experience. and I'm not dealing with all the symptoms of alcohol withdrawal symptom. It's only been, I would say, the last 6 weeks that I'm fully symptom free. Have That's a message for anybody that drinks a lot. Um, Over time, it can really have an impact on your body. You may not be craving a drink, but your body will react in ways that are the worst thing that I've ever experienced in my whole life. And I'll just leave it at that. But I'm happy to say now I have no symptoms of alcohol withdrawal. They're pretty much gone, and I'm happier than I've ever been. And I'm not missing that job that I used to have anymore. And actually, that was a company that I used to love. I can say now that if anybody came up to me and said, hey, what's it like working at XYZ company? I would say, or XYZ if you're American, I would say I wouldn't go work there. Um, it would be very stressful. I wouldn't go work there, not with the existing leadership that is there today. It's just a fact. It's the way that it is. Not sure if I'm going to clip this part out or not. We'll see. But I'm not naming the company, and I don't want to do that. It is what it is. But what's next on the channel is I'm looking at planning a trip to Florida, and I plan on documenting my way down there, stopping at different places to eat. I've had some recommendations already. I know, and I've got a list. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to get feedback from you guys as well. What are some good places to try? And I've already got some, and I've got them written down. And what I'm thinking of doing is keeping a compilation of all of these places that I keep adding from suggestions from you guys to that list, and maybe putting it as an end card at the end of my videos, or maybe putting it as an attachment. And I think that's probably a better place for it in the description, as here's the Florida trips, and I'm going to drive down there. So I'll be going through all the New England states and all of the southern states on the way to Florida. So any places that you can think of, and if it happens to coincide with lunch or supper when I'm driving, I'll be sure to hit those places up. But one thing, that's the immediate future of the channel, and I'd like to do more of the same. If this channel ever gets to the point where it's monetized, the one commitment I can give to you is the money's all going back into the channel. I've got enough money from my pension that I don't need an additional source of income to live. What I'm going to do is use the money, if I ever get money from YouTube, to fund travel, to film more content. So, whether it's me getting in the car and driving out west, or driving south, or going somewhere else, and then taking you guys along with me via the camera and filming. That's what I'm going to do. And as I said, I have that in the works now. It's about 90% that I'm going to be able to go to Florida. I do have a timeshare there, so it's just a matter of availability. And stay tuned for that. Once I know for sure, I will be letting everybody know when the dates are going to be that you can expect to see some additional content. The other thing that I'd like you to know about me is I'm not one that doesn't like criticism. If there's something that I'm doing that you think that I could be doing better, let me know. When I was leading my service teams, one of the pieces of feedback that I gave to my team members was, look, we're human. We're going to make mistakes. That's how you learn. If you don't learn from your mistakes, then you're never, ever going to get better. So I had a comment on one of my videos about my audio wasn't that great. I have tinnitus in my ears. I'm not using that as an excuse, but I didn't know. I actually bought a new mic, so I'm using a new microphone for this. So hopefully the audio is better. please, if there's anything that I'm doing or if there's anything that I'm not doing that you'd like to see, let me know. And I'll, as long as it's in a constructive way, if you're not going on there and saying, hey, you idiot, what the hell do you think you, be nice, right? We need to be nice, nice to each other. As long as it's in a constructive way, I love feedback. Um, and again, I encourage you to comment on the videos. Love to have the comments. But um, I want to end by saying thank you all very much again for taking the time to watch my videos. I do hope, originally I thought that this channel would take a couple of years to get monetized, but the way that it's going, if we keep up at the same pace and the viewership at the same pace and the subscribers at the same rate that it keeps growing, I'm on track that the channel could be monetized by as early as the spring. But the requirements for that are 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of view time. We're already getting close to 2,000 hours of view time, and it's only been about 5.5 months since I started the channel up, and it's only been in the last couple of months, which is when I've been better and in better shape physically and not dealing with all of those symptoms that I had before. So I'm hoping that we can continue this pace, and I'm hoping with a little bit of help from you by suggestions, additional content that you'd like to see, recipes you'd like me to make, places you'd like me to go to, we can get there. And again, all of whatever I get from that is going into the piggy bank to plan another trip to provide more content. So basically, let it roll. If I was playing the slot machines like I used to do when I had a job, and I could have some money to throw away, I would play the machines. If you win, let it roll. So I'm going to let it roll to produce more content for you. And the the other thing that I want to assure you is that one thing you'll never see from me, and I don't criticize the other people that do this. That is their job. For me, this isn't a job. This is therapy for me. It's a job for me, but my satisfaction comes from me actually doing the work. And that's what's helped me heal and get better from what this company I work for did to me. And that's all I need. For me, being back to 100% is everything to me. So as long as I can keep doing this, and if it happens to get monetized, then that's great. But I'm not going to ask for money. I'm not going to create a Patreon page. I'm not going to create merchandise. Again, I don't need this for the money. I'm doing it for my peace of mind and for me to learn something new, learn a new skill, and for me to have a job again, feel like there's some worth, that I can add some value up there. Because I didn't feel like that when they tapped me on the shoulder on my second best year ever during a pandemic and the best year ever for client satisfaction scores. To be asked to leave the company, I think is just horrible. Now I feel whole again, and that wound has been healed, and it's onward and upward. And it's thanks to all of you, everybody that watches any of my videos. When I go there and I see the little sparks coming up that this video is performing better than your other video, that makes it all worthwhile to me. So a big thank you to all of you. I really, really do appreciate it, and know that if and when I ever do get monetized, I'm going to pay that back to you by giving you the content that you deserve. So thanks. I'm looking at the clock here, it's about 20 minutes. I'm hoping I'm not going to have to cut too much out of this. And again, I want to end this by saying thank you. I can't say that enough. I'm a better person since I started this YouTube journey, and it's all because of the viewers. Thank you. Jamie, signing off.